Hi there, everybody, and welcome to this eighth day of our Resilience Challenge. And today we're going to talk about pillar number 7. And my model is a comprehensive model that has distilled everything that's involved in functioning at your best. And I've distilled that down to 9 pillars. Every one of these 9 pillars is a key. And so today we're going to talk about pillar 7, which is presence. And presence is really the gateway to being on the path of resilience. Because it all really begins with awareness of the present. One of the ways we all get stuck is by living in our automatic old patterns. We don't think every moment of the day, oh, is this the right way to do it? Is there a better way? We just automatically follow the lessons of the past and how we do the present. And so it takes being fully present in this moment, aware, to stop and say, wait a second, this is how I've always done it. But I don't want to get the same results. I want to get different, better results. In other words, change, transformation, finding new, healthier neuroplasticity for your brain so that you base new decisions on new information, not the same old data, the same old information. The key is being present. And in my definition of presence, it has 2 directions. And as I'm saying this, just be aware for yourself. How much of the environment do you take in when you're present? Do you notice the room you're in? Do you notice when you're talking with somebody? Do you notice the color of the clothes they're wearing, the style of what they're wearing? Or are you just so focused on hearing them that you're not taking in anything of the surroundings? This is a way that we sort of get lost in our own heads, moment by moment by moment. And it's important for you to be present in your environment and notice and take in as much information as possible, being aware as much of the moments of your day as possible, because that's the doorway to change. That's the doorway to saying to yourself, oh, look, I keep going in the negative direction. Look, in this situation, I started out by thinking how difficult it's going to be, which is a form of negative direction. As soon as we label a situation as going to be difficult, we actually make it more difficult. On the other hand, as soon as we say, and perhaps for you, this is to switch from difficult to, how is it possible? How am I going to be able to do it? Now you're sending your thinking in a different direction. So presence is so important because it gives you the opportunity to do things in a new way. And as I said, presence has 2 directions. So one is receptive, what we're taking in, what we're noticing, and how important this is for your resilience. But the other is the energy that you project out into the world. We have a choice of how we project that energy out into the world. Again, you have to be aware in this moment of what your energy is, what you're putting out. So if you walk into an environment where there are other people, and perhaps you're a little worried, are they going to judge me? Am I going to say the right thing? Those concerns literally create a physical, emotional state. They may create tension in your facial muscles as you brace for a difficult, dangerous situation. That energy of that bracing is what gets sent out into the room that you're in. On the other hand, if you walk in with a positive, engaging attitude and framework, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to show people the best version of myself. I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to be excited to meet the people in this room. And now I have a totally different expression, a more embracing expression, and an expression that says something very different. I'm projecting a very different kind of energy out into the world. You know, this has to do also with our evolutionary process, because our facial expressions, the tone of our voice, all project certain messages into the environment. And on an evolutionary, instinctual level, we receive that energy in different ways. If we see a frown on somebody's face, without even thinking about it, this is an indication that, oh, there may be some danger here. It's not necessarily intended by that other person, but it's from an evolutionary perspective. We're social beings. We respond to these facial expressions, the tone of voice. When we're worried, when we're anxious, when we're tense, our vocal cords get tighter and our voice, the tone of our voice goes up. This is another signal of danger that we might unconsciously be sharing with other people in our environment. So today, I'm inviting you to pay attention to these factors of presence and how present you are in the world. What's the presence you project out into the world as well? Remember, this 10-day challenge, each day is challenging you to pay attention to a different one of my pillars of resilience and success, so that you can begin getting what your baseline is. Wherever it is, we need to accept our baseline. We can only be in one place at a time. And if we're here, even though we may want to be further along the path, by feeling like we should be further along, we are making an added judgment on ourselves, telling ourselves we're not okay, there's something wrong with ourselves. So it always begins with an acceptance of where you're at. This is part of pillar number 1, loving yourself, being accepting with yourself. And if you have a shortcoming, if you are here instead of here, have some compassion toward yourself that for various reasons you are not further along in your development as you would like to be. You can't change that in the moment. The only way you could change that is by being accepting of yourself, being loving toward yourself, being supportive of yourself, all parts of pillar number 1, in order to encourage yourself to keep growing, so that ultimately you'll get to where you feel like you would like to be. So everything is about an ongoing process, and that also takes us back to pillar number 5, mental balance and mastery, and the optimal mindset for resilience and growth. And it begins with acceptance of where you're at, and the notion that as soon as I bring my awareness and attention and intention to this process, I give myself the opportunity for growth. And so, again, my model of optimal functioning is also a model of how to engage the growth process, the change process, the transformation process in the most effective way. So today, during your day, notice how much of the time you're present versus up in your head. If you drive from one place to another, notice if you're present that whole way, or do you get to your destination and, have no memory of some of the streets that you passed because you've been up in your head. Pay attention to your presence today as the seventh pillar of resilience and success. And remember, my book, which lays out the 9 pillars as well as the methodology of the path. The path is alongside you every day. And if you take some of the steps described in my book, it can take you right onto the path today. And that's heading you in the right direction. So there are links at my website, drstephensideroff.com, and all my social media on my bios. There are links to purchase publication copy of my book right now. With a special bonus, you get my 6-week audio plus guidebook free. That's a $47 value when you purchase my book. All in the service of your best life and becoming more and more resilient. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we look at the 8th pillar of resilience and success. Have a great day. Bye-bye.